Welcome back to the Coaching Masters podcast, everybody in podcast land. So you may be listening to this on Apple iTunes podcasts. You may be listening to this on Spotify, which is where I choose to listen to my podcasts. But you also may be watching this completely live inside of Coaching Mastery, the one free group that we have for the general public here at the Coaching Masters. And every single Thursday at 12 p.m. UK time, I record this podcast episode completely 100% live, and I talk to all of the people that are watching this live. And just before I hit the record button for the podcast, we have just been speaking about the exciting upcoming Coaching Masters app. Yes, we have our very own app, and it's not just an app where you can access your core training. It's not just an app where you can access these trainings, but you will actually be able to communicate with your fellow coaching masters because it is a full-blown social media platform. I am this week not going to be talking about a technique. I'm not going to be talking about a method, a framework. I'm not going to be talking about things that you can use with your clients. Next week, I will be coming back to that, okay? I'm going to be back on track when it comes to talking about things that you can do with your clients. But this week, I'm talking about something very, very, very specific. I'm talking about the Coaching Masters mission. Now, the Coaching Masters have a very, very specific mission, which we are very, very proud of. But not only am I talking about the Coaching Masters mission, I'm also going to talk to you about the Coaching Masters vision. And not only am I going to talk to you about the Coaching Masters vision, I'm going to talk to you about the core company values. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be giving you a little bit of an insight here into TCM in a way that you wouldn't have seen before. I'm going to give you an insight into TCM that you wouldn't have heard before. Now, everybody knows our mission, but not everybody knows our vision, and not everybody understands or knows it's not that you don't understand, it's that you wouldn't know the core company values of the Coaching Masters because I've never spoken about it before. And until I talk about it, of course, how would anybody know what those core company values are? Now, there's a reason as to why this podcast episode is actually very, very important. The reason it's important is because you are a part of that mission. You're part of the mission. There's no doubt about it. In fact, you're a huge part of the mission. You're a very significant part of the mission. So if you're a part of the mission, it's only right that you know what that mission is. But not only that, you're part of the company as well. You're a very core part of the company because you are our students. You're the people that we're teaching. You're the ones that we're taking on this incredible journey. So I want you to understand not only the mission of the Coaching Masters, but I want you to understand the vision, where we're headed, and what the company values are. Ladies and gentlemen, the vision, the mission, the company values. Okay, the vision, the mission, and the company values. Now, you may know the mission of the Coaching Masters. This is why we do what we do. Now, you may not know the mission. So this may be the very first time you've ever heard this. And the mission goes like this. This is the mission. We provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time and really, really let it sink in. In fact, if you've never heard it before, even if you have, write it down. Okay, write this down somewhere. Please do that because you are such a core part of the mission. I want it to be able to seep into your pores. I want you to be able to love this mission, support this mission because you're a part of it. We provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others, right? Let's break this down. What does this actually mean? So, we provide ordinary people. Ordinary people just like me. Just like me and Lewis and Johnny and everyone else involved in the Coaching Masters. Ordinary people just like me and you. We are ordinary people, right? Now, what do I mean by that? Because everybody is utterly unique and everybody is extraordinary in their own way. What I mean by we provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools is the fact that you don't need to be some form of superhuman or superhero to be able to add maximum value to somebody else's life. All you need is a set of extraordinary tools. That's all you need. So the reason that we say we provide ordinary people isn't to brand us all bland and vanilla and non-unique, because of course we are utterly unique and we are utterly extraordinary in our own rights. But one of the biggest misconceptions that we have discovered throughout this entire coaching journey is that what will happen is people will look at the level that I'm at and the level that Lewis is at and say, I could never do that. They must just have this gift. They've just got this gift. They just know what to do. They know what to say. They know when to say it. They have these abilities that they must have been born with. And if I don't have those abilities, it means that I can't become a successful coach. And the first line of our mission being we provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools is to completely debunk that myth, because we are ordinary people. Make no mistake about it. There is nothing special about us that has allowed us to be as successful as we are inside of the coaching space that is unobtainable to everybody else. No way. All we did was learn some extraordinary tools. And that is what the whole premise of the Coaching Masters is all about. It's all about teaching you the exact same extraordinary tools that we learned that have allowed us to build very successful coaching businesses and help lots and lots of people. But make no mistake about it. I am an ordinary person. 5 years ago, I was a full-time Royal Mail postman. That was my full-time job. That is how I put food on the table for a couple of years. Before that, I was a lifeguard. I was a barman. I tried becoming a stockbroker. I absolutely hated it. I was an estate agent. I've done it. I've done everything. Like I'm the son of a plumber, and my mum worked for charities most of her life, became a therapist, and also became a coach. But trust me when I say I am not in any way cut from any extraordinary cloth, right? Just trust me when I say that. I'm really, 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 really not. I come from a very, very standard working class background from Southeast London. I am not cut from any extraordinary cloth whatsoever. My dad was a plumber. My grandfather was a plumber. My grandmother worked in Woolworths forever for her whole life until she retired, of course. My other grandmother is from Ireland. She lives in London now, but she raised 8 kids. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm just like from a very, very normal working class place with working class people amongst those that have not, sounding disrespectful, not done anything so outrageously unique and impressive and extraordinary that I'm looked at and thought of as someone who is cut from a very specific type of cloth, who is destined for success. It's 100% not me or where I'm from, right? I could not be more in line with the definition of ordinary person. I swear to God. Now, what I've done over the last few years can be considered extraordinary in terms of having left that job as a postman, become a coach, built a very successful coaching business where I was turning over 6 figures plus a year, then building a very successful online coaching academy, the Coaching Masters, which generates multiple 7 figures a year, which, by the way, that essentially means it's more than £2 million. Yeah, that in itself is an extraordinary thing. But it 100% comes down to learning extraordinary tools, not being an extraordinary person. Learning extraordinary tools. Now, what are those tools? Well, first and foremost, it's the tools that you use with your clients, right? They're the first set of tools that we need to worry about. What tools can I learn to help my clients break down their limiting beliefs, increase their confidence, shift their perspective, overcome a damaging past memory that's holding them back, figure out what it is they want to be doing with their lives, what's their purpose, what are their highest values, all of these things that we never ever truly get the space to explore because nobody ever encourages us to explore this stuff. That is why coaching is utterly valuable, because what we do is we provide people with these tools so that they can finally, after all these years, finally understand who they are, what they want, where they're going, where they've come from, what they're destined for, what they value, what their purpose is. All of these things that are so very important when it comes to the human experience. And most people never really get the permission to explore that stuff. That's what we're helping our clients do. And if we get very good at that, then what we have developed is an extremely valuable asset. It's an extremely valuable skill set, right? It's an extremely valuable set of tools that can be used to exchange for money. And that is why you are able to make a very, very good living as a coach, as long as you're adding value to other people's lives. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, but it really is the most important element of what we do. As long as you're using those tools to genuinely add value to other people's lives and genuinely help them create huge monumental shifts to get them stuck from where they currently are stuck to where they want to be, you are a very valuable person with a very valuable set of tools that's worth paying for. So that is the premise of our mission, providing ordinary people like me and like you with extraordinary tools. So what do we do with those extraordinary tools? Well, this is the next part of the mission, to provide ordinary people like me and you with extraordinary tools to create freedom. Okay, now let's stop it there for a moment. Let's stop it there. Now, what do we mean by that? Extraordinary tools to create freedom. There's so many different types of freedom. Freedom does not come in one shape or one size. Freedom is utterly unique to the individual that seeks freedom. There are various different types of freedom. Financial freedom, i.e., freedom to not have to work for a certain person for a certain amount of hours on certain days to make a certain amount of money in order to pay your bills, right? Financial freedom is breaking away from that. So you have the ability to be able to wake up in the morning and ask the question, what do I want to do today? And ask that question every single day and be able to follow through with it without the worry of how am I going to pay for my life. There's financial freedom. There's geographical freedom. The freedom to be able to move, the freedom to be able to travel, the freedom to be able to go where you want, when you want, how you want. Now, of course, this is something that is so very attractive to the vast majority of the world. And it's very attractive to people who find the coaching masters, because people tend to have that want and desire for freedom to travel. People want to go and spend a year in Bali, sitting in the sun, doing their coaching sessions via their laptop whilst on the beach. People want to be able to go and walk the Great Wall of China just because they can. People want to be able to go and live in Moscow for a year to experience those blisteringly cold temperatures and a completely different culture to what they're used to. People want to be able to, where else would you go? You'd go fucking anywhere. Like, I went to the Maldives for a few weeks back and I did a bunch of coaching sessions while I was there. I was shocked. I was like, I'm here and it's this incredible paradise place. And at the same time, you're building your business and you're seeing clients and it's phenomenal. So there's those two types of freedom. Very, very, very valuable, very key for anybody that's inside of the community. Financial freedom, geographical freedom. There's emotional freedom as well. People don't ever consider this or think about this. Emotional freedom is one of the most core types of freedom. And some would say that without emotional freedom, geographical freedom, and financial freedom is meaningless. And I would happen to agree, because you can have financial freedom and you can have geographical freedom, but if you haven't got freedom over your own emotions, and what do I mean by that? I'm going to come onto that in a minute. Then you can be in these wonderful places doing what you want when you want, and you can be very, very unhappy about it and very sad about that. Emotional freedom is being able to feel what you want to feel when you want to feel it. Now, this is an interesting concept because this isn't something that's spoken about enough, okay? When you're talking about freedom, you chat about financial freedom, you talk about geographical freedom. We don't often talk about emotional freedom enough. Now, coaching tools and techniques, especially NLP techniques, they focus very, very heavily on what we're experiencing inside of our internal world, how we process information, how do we see things, how do we hear things, how do we feel about things. Now, emotional freedom very much comes down to that equation that I talk about a lot. Your thoughts create your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results, right? We all know that. That is the number one equation we want to be focusing on when we're talking about the power of coaching, because coaching helps you change your thoughts. And therefore, if you change your thoughts, you change your feelings. You change your feelings, you change your actions. You change your actions, you change your results. Emotional freedom is the ability to be able to choose what it is we're thinking, and therefore what it is we're feeling when we want. Now, having emotional freedom doesn't mean that we're completely immune to negative emotional states or unexpected life occurrences that make us feel a way we don't want to feel. We're never going to be immune to that stuff unless we were a robot, right? We were completely emotionless. We don't necessarily want to be immune to those things, because it's those emotional states that, although undesirable, and we don't want to live in a negative emotional state. We don't want to consistently live in a place where we're waking up feeling anxious or feeling depressed or feeling jealous or feeling let down or whatever the negative emotional state is. They have their places purely because of balance. They have their place because of balance. Because if we didn't experience any negative emotional states ever, and we only experienced positive emotional states, then we would be out of balance. Our equilibrium would not be aligned with us as a human being. We'd be like this, right? For those watching this on the live, we'd basically be a one-sided seesaw. So naturally, we need to experience these negative emotional states every so often because it's part of the human experience. However, having emotional freedom allows us to change that a negative emotional state. It allows us to remove ourselves from those negative emotional states at a point in which we are ready. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, have you ever felt the negative emotional state of anger, but at the time you wouldn't change it because you feel as though that anger in that moment is serving you well? And in fact, something has happened. Someone has done something or said something that has made you feel angry, and you want to feel angry in that moment because you feel like that moment deserves that emotion, right? The key to emotional freedom is the ability to not have to stay there. That's the key to emotional freedom, to have the ability to say, okay, I've got from this what I needed. And I'm now done with it. And I no longer want to feel this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to change that emotional state and I'm going to feel something different. Stephen Marshall says, yes, anger, definitely. Jim says, use it short term, but do not camp out there. That's a good way of thinking about it, Jim. I like the metaphor. But this is what emotional freedom is emotional freedom is the ability to be able to stay, right, I'm done with that. And now I'm going to choose how it is I feel next. I'm done with the anger. I'm done with the frustration or the jealousy. Now what I want is I want joy. I want exhilaration. I want confidence. So I'm going to go and get it. We help people develop that kind of freedom as well. That sort of freedom. Because that kind of freedom is what you get when you learn very good coaching tools and techniques. That's the kind of freedom you get when you learn extraordinary tools, right? So let's think about this now. So far, we've got financial freedom, geographical freedom, emotional freedom. What about spiritual freedom? This is another type of freedom. The ability to be able to explore your own belief system in a way that works for you, without the need to prove it to anyone, without the need to over-explain it to those that don't really care and don't really want to know, but the ability to be able to follow your own North Star, the ability to have your own guiding light that you know works for you, it makes sense for you, and it pulls you in a direction that is good for you. That's spiritual freedom. Now, we give people the tools to be able to exercise that simply because they're exercising their beliefs and their values throughout the whole journey of becoming a coach. That's a very core element of the Coaching Masters accreditation program. What are your beliefs and values, right? Your beliefs and your values. Now, when people really truly understand what their beliefs are, right? What they believe to be true about themselves, about the world around them, about other people. And they're able to start to eliminate limiting beliefs and build empowering beliefs that drive them forward, whilst at the same time understanding what their core values are, what's very, very important to them. They're able to develop spiritual freedom. So with all of this in mind, right? Now, bearing in mind, now we've spoken about 4 types of freedom. There are hundreds of different types of freedom. There is freedom in near enough every element of the human existence. So with that in mind, just think about the mission once again, right? Really, really think about the mission of the Coaching Masters and really embrace it. We provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others. Just break that down. We provide ordinary people like me and like you with extraordinary tools like you learn throughout all of the Coaching Masters programs to create freedom, all different types of freedom, financial freedom, geographical freedom, mental freedom, spiritual freedom, emotional freedom, to create freedom for themselves, i.e. the person learning those tools, and others, i.e. your clients. That's the mission of the Coaching Masters. That's what it really means when you break it down. That is what we are working so hard towards every single day. Every day we're working towards that. And you guys are a huge part of that mission. You're a gigantic part of that mission. You're very, very, very key because you are the students. You're the ordinary people like me and you that we're providing the extraordinary tools to for you to create all of these different types of freedom for yourself and for your clients. That is the key to TCM. That's the key. That's why we've been able to be so successful in such a short amount of time, because we use the tools that we teach and we're clear on the mission. What's the vision? Now, this is really interesting because the vision, right, is the result of the mission. So you know the mission, but the vision is what we're going to be able to achieve as a result of the mission. The mission is why we do what we do, okay? Providing ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others, that's why we do what we do every single day. The vision is the result of the mission. So the vision is the result of why we do what we do. So listen to this. And again, I want you to all get very, very excited about this because you are at the very, very beginning of this vision. The very beginning, right? You're at the very start. The vision is to be the world's largest online coaching community. And you, each and every one of you, if you're listening to this on the podcast or if you're watching this live inside of Coaching Mastery, you contribute to that vision in such a gigantic way that you would never even believe, but you are a huge part of it. And at the same time, you are the originals. You're the originals. For all of those people that are listening to this currently. Now, maybe you're listening to this on the podcast in 2 years' time, and we blew past that vision and we are the world's largest coaching community. But right now, the date is October 21st, 2021, right? October 21st, 2021. So if you're listening to this anywhere even close to that date, you are at the very, very start, the very beginning. And how exciting is that? Isn't that incredible? Because 2.5 years in, we have done a very, very good job at taking this as an idea that just existed in my head and Lewis's head and turning it into something which is already big. It's big. But don't forget, the vision is to be the world's largest online coaching community. When people hear the word coaching, we want them to think masters and make that correlation instantly in their head. When people hear the word coaching, we want them to think masters, right? And we're doing it. We are doing it. We're on that mission right now. And we couldn't do any of it without each and every one of you. Every single one of you. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If it wasn't for you, I would be a bloke sitting alone in his bedroom with his laptop. just think about that for a moment. If it wasn't for you guys, TCM wouldn't be on its way to being the world's largest online coaching community. I'd be a bloke sitting alone in his bedroom with his laptop, and Lewis would be a bloke sitting alone in his bedroom with his laptop. So we love you for that. If you're not watching this live inside of Coaching Mastery, we were talking about this beforehand. Where the fuck are you? Where are you? Like this is like a small core community of people that watch these lives every week. I love it. So giving a big shout out to those people. We got Lisa Ferry, we got Rihanna, we got Kirsty, we got Sandra, we got Louise Clark, we got Joanne, we got Stephen Marshall, we got my good friend Jim Lutz, we got Jenny, we've got Soaring Chris. That's a cool name, isn't it? Soaring. I love that. We've got Emma-Lise. We've got Suze. We've got Monica Dobruck. We've got loads of people that tune in live every single week here. We've got Adam Ellis down there as well. I love it. I love it. So yeah, you guys, you're here from the very, very beginning. The very beginning. We're going to get there. We are undoubtedly going to get there. So that's the vision and that's the mission. Okay? The mission is we provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others, okay? And the vision, which is the result of that mission, is to be the world's largest online coaching community. Now, there's something internal, which I have never spoken about before, and this really is giving you guys a glimpse under the hood of the Coaching Masters. This is something that we talk about inside of TCM HQ, if you want to call it that, right? These are the things that we talk about with everyone that works for the Coaching Masters. So this is the thing that we talk about with our team. We've got a relatively large team at TCM, considering that this business only didn't even exist 2.5 years ago. In terms of how many, it's really weird like using terms like staff members because it just seems so corporate, which TCM really isn't that kind of organization. But I guess staff members really does, it's the terminology that everybody understands. I say team, I just talk about it like, because it is a team. That's what it is. It's just like any other team. We need to gel together. It's a team. But essentially, when it comes to staff members, I mean, there's probably in the region of about 40 to 50 people that work for TCM as, full-time TCMers. And so inside of our internal meetings, when meeting with all TCM team members, we talk about the core company values. What do we value as an organization? What do we value as a company? And there are 5 things. There are 5 things that we pride ourselves on at TCM when it comes to our core company values. There are 5 things that we want everybody within TCM to really embrace. Now, the reason that I'm telling you about this is because, one, I think as TCM students and coaching masters, you deserve to know what's important to the company. You deserve to know what's important to TCM. You deserve to know what we talk about inside of our team meetings at TCM, right? You deserve to know. So I'm going to tell you what the 5 core company values are, and then we're going to dive into them a little bit, right? So our core company values are passion, disruption, growth, authenticity, and innovation. Okay, now I'm going to say that one more time. Passion, disruption, growth, authenticity, and innovation. Those are the 5 core company values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what we believe. We believe in the power of coaching, and it means something to us, and we share it with the world. That's the first one. That's passion, right? That's the first core value of the company is passion. We believe in the power of coaching. We truly believe in the power of coaching so much that we want to share it with the world. And the first one is passion. And that is our passion for coaching. We want everybody that works for TCM to have a true, genuine passion for coaching. We built this business upon the shoulders of loving coaching. We love it. It's our life. It's our livelihood. It's what our entire mindset is built upon, is on the passion that we have for the fact that coaching can change people's lives. So that is the number one core value that we've got. If you work for the Coaching Masters, you absolutely must have a passion for coaching. It's a non-negotiable. It has to be there, right? And it has to be strong and it has to be apparent because we love it. That's what the Coaching Masters is all about, is coaching. The second one, disruption. This is an interesting value for our company to hold. We turn heads in our industry because we do things our way and not the way that it's always been done. Now, let me know in the comments, do you recognize that inside of our training? Do you recognize the fact that we quite clearly make a point of doing things not the way that it's always been done, but the way we want to do it? Do you recognize that inside of the Coaching Masters membership, inside of our premium courses, inside of the community, just across the board as a whole? Do you recognize that? Because the coaching industry has been around for a while, but you know what? For the most part, I have got absolutely no problem in saying that it had become very stale, very boring, very dusty, and being taught by people that are regurgitating information out of a textbook and not applying what it is they have learned. We walk our talk, and I'm going to come on to that in a moment because that falls under the authenticity core value. But when it comes to the disruption core value, it's all about us making sure that we do it the way that we want to do it and not doing it in a way that has been regurgitated out of a book time and time and time again and has gathered dust on a fucking dusty bookshelf. But do you recognize that? So you can now see that it's not an accident. That hasn't happened by accident. It's happened because this is what we truly believe in, right? Don't forget our mission. We provide ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others. Our vision to be the world's largest coaching community. Our core company values, they run through everything we do at TCM. Everything. So passion, we're passionate about coaching. Disruption, we do things our way, not the way that it's always been done. The third one, growth. Continuous growth is what feels comfortable for us, both personally and professionally. Now think about that for a moment. What is one of the core attributes of successful coaching? Your clients experiencing growth, both personally and professionally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, geographically. Growth. Growth in all elements of the term. Growth, growth, growth. This is also something we heavily believe in at TCM, so much that it's one of the core company values, that we must value growth. Growth both personally and professionally. Continuous growth is comfortable for us. So growth is very important to us. Continuous growth. It is one of our core company values. The fourth core company value, which I know that each and every one of you will recognize, is authenticity. Authenticity is so important in what we do. We emotionally connect with our customers by expressing our true personalities. You are our customers. And our fourth value is authenticity. We connect with our customers emotionally by showing who we truly are. Do we or do we not do that? That is 100% one of our top core values. If anything, that might even be the one that is most important to me. Emotionally connecting on a personal level with all of our customers by showing you who we really are, not by showing you some fake veneer of, I don't know, some character, right? I couldn't do it if I tried, honestly. It's like I reserve that for the acting space, the coaching space. I just got to show you who I am by showing you into our lives. I try as much as I can to show you into my life, with my wife and with Posey, and just showing you the journey I've been on building this coaching business and the things that I've done before, the jobs that I've had. Lewis has been very open and transparent about the troubled upbringing that he had, ending up in prison, turning his life around, who he is today, going on the journey, sharing very recently just the heartbreaking news of him and his amazing fiance losing gorgeous Mia, who we send all of our love and energy to. Their gorgeous baby who was who unfortunately didn't make it. But we're very open and transparent about who we are. We never won't be that way. I would find it very difficult to be any other way. I really, really would. And it has now been embedded as one of our core values at TCM. Embedded. Authenticity is one of the 5. It's one of the top 5. Every staff member at TCM, every person that works with us, every member of the team, especially me, Lewis and Johnny, right? It's part of our culture. It's part of our company culture that authenticity has to be the driving force. It has to be the thing at the forefront, leading us and showing us the right direction for us to move in. How can we serve our customers better than every other coaching academy? I challenge you, right? I challenge you to go and find any other coaching academy that exists, all right? Go and look at the Coaching Academy. Go and look at Animas. Go and look at I don't even know the other ones. I challenge you to go and look at any of them and try to find anything personal about the people that are going to be teaching you directly. Try and find anything personal about the individuals that you're putting your time and your trust into, and you're trusting them to show you the way and show you how do you coach people? How do you add value to other people's lives? How do I build a business? Just go and look, right? Go and look, because when you put that level of trust in someone that you're saying, not only here is my hard-earned money, but here is my time, which is way more valuable than money, way more valuable. You're saying, this is my time and this is my intention. This is my thought process. This is me. Each and every one of you, every single one of you, you're individual human beings. You're not fucking numbers. You're not a price that gets paid when you sign up to a course. You're individual people. And you deserve to know who is the person that's going to be teaching you, that's going to be showing you the way. How do they know what they're talking about? Have they been there? Have they done it? Are you able to follow in their footsteps? Go and look at any other coaching academy, right? And you try to find out anything personal about any of those teachers or any of those tutors. And I challenge any of you to try to find it. Authenticity is a huge driving force for TCM. We will show you under the hood of the car whenever you want to see it, right? We will bare our souls to you because it's a huge part of the coaching process. Trust. Genuine, authentic trust. And finally, the 5th core value of TCM is innovation. Innovation. We always look for the latest advances in technology to improve the experience of you, our customers. Innovation. How can we take this thing we call coaching and how can we get you guys to learn it on an even more technologically innovative way, on a more technologically innovative platform? And this is why we're spending, I don't mind telling you, because again, it's all about the authenticity. It will be hundreds of thousands of dollars on an app, right? On an app. Okay, and over time, it will probably go into millions of dollars because that thing is going to be developed all the time. And you might think, why? Why would we do that when we can utilize other people's technology? When we can just use Facebook and have a Facebook group, or use this platform to have a membership site, or use this platform to get messages out to people, but we're like, no, our students deserve to have the most technologically advanced access to their training material. And that is why we've put a lot of money up until this point into the Coaching Masters app. And again, just for those people that didn't see it before, and if you're not watching this live inside of Coaching Mastery, then you're missing out big time. But just to show you guys again, there it is. Now, it's not available to the public just yet, but when that thing becomes available, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. So innovation, that is the fifth and final core value of the Coaching Masters. Innovation. We want to make sure that we are always technologically advanced so that your experience is a good one. Okay, so just to remind you of those: passion, disruption, growth, authenticity, and innovation. They're our core company values. That is the guiding light for our entire organization. We're passionate about coaching. We're disrupting the industry and doing things the way we want to do it. Growth is at the forefront of our mind, personally and professionally. Authenticity is how we are led, by showing you who we really are. And innovation, so that your learning platform is more advanced than any other company in the world. That is what we do at TCM. And don't forget, we're providing ordinary people with extraordinary tools to create freedom for themselves and others. And we are on our way to becoming the world's largest coaching community. Ladies and gentlemen, I love each and every one of you deeply from the bottom of my heart, because you are here with us now today. I love you so much. You're incredible. You're powerful. You're valued. You're heard. You're understood. This is where you belong. And I'll promise that we will always endeavor to make sure that this remains a safe place for you to grow and trip and fall and get back up again and support each other and celebrate each other's wins. You're amazing. I love you all. Keep coaching your way to freedom.